blessing for all of us. So this summer, those of you who have been with us know that we've been dropping songs in this jar every week on the piano there in front of Macon, and every one of us has a reason that we drop a song in that jar. And we have feelings about those songs. I'm sure this morning James has feelings about Amazing Grace, like I'm sure many of us do. Being involved in music for so long, I have many favorites, and this is very difficult for me, having to choose just one. But I do have one that kind of stands out, which is Freely, and I try not to sing it too often, so you all are not having to sing it every week. But it does tell of the freedom of having to receive God's love, and then your freedom to give it back to everybody. So it's a great song. If you haven't heard it, you should look at it in the hymnal. So this morning, knowing that Kenny was going to be gone, he sort of tasked me to come up with a music service. So here we go. This morning we have 3 choir members who were willing to come and share about their favorites and the reasons why. So in this order, they're going to come and speak with you. Start with Tempestt here. Amanda. Amanda's next. She's another one. She's new to us. And then Macon is going to come last to give his favorite one. So let's give them a round of applause. We'll start with Tempestt, and then we'll just follow in order. We want to finish it. You want to use the book?
Good morning. Good morning. The hymn that I picked really speaks to my life and exactly where I am at 31 years old and everything I've been through in my childhood. So the song was actually it was the first song that we sung, which is Pass Me Not. That is one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard as a child. So growing up in the church, where we sung things a little bit slower, very different. That was one of the songs that stuck out to me a lot. The reason why I can kind of elaborate and speak on why that song means so much to me is because I'm going through a lot of family issues right now with trying to be accepted and trying to love my family, even because of the person that I chose to love. So every day or every week, I kind of listen to Pass Me Not, and it passes. Pretty much the message that I get from it is that no matter what the circumstances is, no matter what you're going through, no matter the situation, just know that God is always in the midst of whatever is going on. So I am a firm believer that even when you do not have the family that you want, God will bless you with the family that you need.
Amen.
So I just hope you guys take a minute through this week, whatever it may be, take a moment and just listen to that song. Whatever version you may want to listen to, it's an amazing song. And just be quiet, be still in the moment, and allow God to use you and shine His light through you. I hope you guys have a blessed week, and God bless you.
Good morning, everyone. I feel like I should preface this by saying I have never done this before.
That's okay.
Given a testimonial at church that Catholics don't really do this. Bit of a foreign concept to me, but I'm here. When Ginny asked me to pick a hymn or a song that means a lot to me, the song that I first thought about is called You Are Mine. It's written by David Haas. It's one of the first songs I ever learned, probably in church choir. I had started singing my church choir when I was 9 years old, and I remained a part of a choir, whether it was with my church in my hometown or in college or after even for a few years, for 14 years. And then I stopped going to church when I met my wife, and I haven't been back since in those 14 years until a few months ago. But it was a big part of my life, and I know that's supposed to be about my favorite song, and You Are Mine was, for me, a really beautiful reflection of my conception of what God is. The words in the song, first of all, they're spoken from God. So it starts off saying, I will come to you in the silence. I will lift you from all your fears. You will be my choice, or you will be my voice. I claim you as my choice. Be still and know that I am here. And walking away from a church and from a community that had been a big part part of my life was difficult, and I did so because I felt like it wasn't necessarily the right place and wasn't welcoming for me anymore. But that song, whenever I think back of it, again, reflects to me all of the good pieces of that and all of the parts of that that I still carry with me, and again, reflects a God to me that doesn't say you have to love a certain person, or you don't have to look a certain way, or you don't only have to be yourself. And that was really important to me. So that's You Are Mine. Again, I encourage you to look it up. It's a really beautiful piece as well. It's also the song that taught me to love being an alto, because I actually hated it in the beginning, but I loved the alto part. So listen for that too. Yeah, maybe one day we'll sing it together. Thank you.
Thank you.
How's everybody doing this morning? Can I get a round of applause for the spirits of joy? All dressed in red, so beautifully. Luckily, there are two newish members of the choir, Ryan and Amanda, who don't make me look so bad for not dressing in red too, because I guess they didn't get the memo like I did. I forgot, I'm wearing green. But with my green and their red, we're making Christmas colors. So Christmas in July or August. So how did I find myself here every week at the MCC Richmond? Well, I started with my church and music experience in Washington, D.C. I grew up in Arlington, and church and music have always been intertwined for me, because that's actually where I started playing piano. I took lessons from the guy who played piano at my church. And I remember the first piano player at my church was he played very nicely and very sweetly, and it was a kind of a calming sound. And I thought it was kind of nice. But then eventually he retired, and we got another guy, and this guy could really, really play, like, all over the piano. And when I saw him do that, that's what made me decide I want to play piano. So I decided I want to play piano in church, and that's where I got my musical beginnings. But the church I grew up in wasn't exactly something that I found incredibly spiritual. So I eventually was taking lessons with him, and I was taking classical piano lessons, but when I got to be 12 or 13, I wasn't really ready to put in all the work. Because when you're playing piano, the better you get, the harder you have to work to get better. So when I hit a point during my teenage years where I kind of was burnt out from all the work, and I couldn't really allow myself to do the work that was necessary to get better. So I quit taking lessons for a little while, and I went to rock camp. I learned how to play rock music, I learned how to play jazz, and then I went to VCU for jazz piano. I started taking it kind of seriously again once I was in high school. And if you are a jazz piano student at VCU, you're required to take 4 semesters of classical piano. So to kind of get you to be very well-rounded. And all the jazz students and classical students all take a class together called Piano Masterclass, where once a week, 3 people from the class are invited to play a song in front of everybody, and everybody kind of critiques you. So, you know, the star of this piano masterclass, the guy who everybody was always excited to see every week, his name was Nick Bonadine. And Nick always played so beautifully and so confidently, and you could just close your eyes when he played, and the music would wash over you like a healing, glassy ecstasy, you know? And whenever the jazz, and whenever Nick played, or some of the higher level classical students played, you know, everybody, oh, you're so good, how do you do this, blah, blah. And whenever the jazz students, me and my fellow goofballs went up to play our classical piece that we've been working on, you know, there was a lot of critique and a lot of criticism for our play because we were coming at it from like a whole different angle, trying to kind of figure it out ourselves for the most part. And I would always kind of try to put my own spin on these classical pieces, and I would kind of jazz them up just a little bit. And many of the classical students in that class would be like, "Oh, you can't do that. You know, there's a tradition that you have to stick to because it's a very, very well-founded tradition." And one time, when somebody was saying that to me, Nick Bonadies, and this is my first real interaction, he raised his hand and he said, "Well, I actually disagree. I think what he did was kind of cool. You know, I think that kind of worked." And afterwards, I went up to him and I said, "Hey, man, I really appreciate that you said that about my playing." He said, "Yeah, well, if you ever need anything," he was a senior when I was a freshman. He said, "Hey, man, if you ever need anything, just let me know." And so one day he played this very, very beautiful piece. And it was just so beautiful. Everybody was jaw was on the ground. And I saw him at a party that weekend, and I said, "Man, how do you do that?" He said, "Let's hang out sometime. Let's at the music center or whatever. I'll show you how I do it." And we hung out for about 2 or 3 hours, and he really spilled the beans on how to approach things from a classical way. And he kind of was really honest with me, and he kind of gave me I don't want to call it a shortcut, but he kind of told me something that I don't think anybody else would have told me. I think people would have been kind of more protective of that knowledge. So I took what he told me and I applied it to the classical piece that I was working on. And a couple months later, I showed him the piece, and he was impressed. He was like, "Wow, man! You really took what I told you and you applied it to what you are working on with classical stuff." And he was always a very good friend to me. And eventually, that was his last year at BCU. So that summer, he called me and he said, "Hey, man, I got this church gig that I think you might be a good fit for because you need to be very adaptable to play this church." And you seem like a very adaptable guy. I said, "Well, what do you mean I have to be adaptable?" He's like, "Well, first of all, it's a gay church." And I'm like, "Well, I'm straight. Will they even hire me?" And he laughs and he's like, "No, we're not going to discriminate against you." So I came in the one Sunday for my audition. It was a church service, and when the communion started happening, I noticed something very different from my church experience growing up, and that was not only were you given a little piece of bread and some wine, but the person who gives it to you gives you a big hug and whispers in your ear. And I was like, "Oh, you know what, maybe I'll just sit this one out." And Tom Marks, he taps me on the shoulder and he says, "Aren't you gonna go?" I'm like, "I guess I gotta go now." So I go up. And I'm pretty sure it was Mark Burke. Is he here today? I think it was Mark who gave me my first blessing that day. And it was kind of nice. And I sat back down, and then David Dozier comes up to me again. He says, "Do you want a blessing?" I was like, "Oh, I already got one." He said, "Are you sure you don't want another round?" I said, what is going on here? And then I had my little audition for Ginny, and I was thinking, "Oh, I'm coming after Nick, so I gotta really do something classical and fancy." And so I did one of the pieces I was working on, one of the things that I'd showed Nick before, and I played it, and Ginny was like, "Oh, that was really nice. I wasn't expecting that. I thought you were gonna play something jazzy." And so I was like, "Oh, I can do that too." So I did that. And I don't remember who it was, but after I finished playing, she turned to somebody and she was like, "How was that? Not bad, right?" And he was like, "No, not bad." But I at least passed that audition, and I learned that this church is a very spiritual place for a lot of reasons. And just to compare it to the church that I grew up in, first of all, there's very who come here are really excited to see each other. And they really relish it. And it's like the best part of everybody's week is coming here. You know? And you can really feel that. You can really feel the love in the air. And the church I went to was nice, you know. The people were pretty nice. The pastor was nice. I was baptized and confirmed there. But it was just kind of vanilla. You know? There wasn't a whole lot, like, it didn't feel like there was a whole lot of breakthrough, spiritual breakthrough. Like there wasn't a lot of catharsis. And that's what I love about this church, is that people really are able to break down. You know, and if you're feeling really sad, you're able to feel really sad. If you're feeling really happy, you're able to show that. And the other thing I like this church is it's pretty diverse, and there's a lot of people from a lot of communities, a lot of different ethnic backgrounds, a lot of different spiritual backgrounds. And when I was growing up in church, one time the piano player played like a old African American spiritual, and I don't remember what it was called, but like on the bulletin it was like the name of the song, blah blah blah, and like author, it just said traditional, because it was one of those old songs, you know. And this old like lady who was behind me like whispered to her husband while the lady was playing, "There's nothing traditional about that." And what she meant was it wasn't an old white Presbyterian hymn, but it was traditional. It was from a tradition. And what I love about this church is that so many traditions can come together, and all of our musical backgrounds are incorporated to become this one amazing ball of fun. And there's really, I've never seen anything like it. And to all the people that, like, whenever I can't make it and somebody substitutes for me, they're like, "Man, I'm so jealous of you. Like, the church I play at is nothing like that. Like, it's very strict, and like it's all about the money. And yeah, it's just an amazing place. And the communion thing, getting your blessing, you don't really become full from eating the little piece of bread, right? You become full when you get your blessing. And somebody, you share that experience with somebody. And I don't think she's here. Actually, no, she's not here. As we just learned, she's recovering from surgery. But my favorite person to get a blessing from, not that it's a competition, but Carol Anderson, I think, really gives the most amazing blessings. And when she touches you and like whispers in your ear, you get goosebumps. And like you really do get filled up by that blessing, right? Did everybody agree with that? It's been blessed by Carol Anderson. And so, you know, and we also do get fed after church. We also get that food. There's good food down here every weekend. And it wasn't really always like that. I think that started really to be a very big weekly thing once Kenny got here.
Yes.
And for a little while, there was no regular preachers. Every single person, like every person who felt like they could preach, you know, every week would come up and do a sermon. And it's kind of like we have today. You know, Kenny's off. And at one point, Martha Pittenger did a sermon. And she said something along the lines of, to think that I would ever be afraid that my church would fall apart, you know? And when she originally gave that sermon, I didn't realize she was talking about that time right then. I didn't really realize kind of how dire the situation was. But since Kenny's been here, we've really grown, and we've really had a solid foundation. And the song I chose for us to do today is "Let Us Break Bread Together on Our Knees." Because, I think all of it, all the things in that song encompass what I love about this church. People come every week together to break bread. And when I say break bread, I don't mean actually get bread. I mean the process of getting your blessing, the process of being fed spiritually. Everybody comes together to get that. And break bread together on our knees. Please, Lord, have mercy on me. I think that's a great example of what everybody does together. They share their troubles, and they get on their knees, not metaphorically speaking, and they really do give themselves to each other and to God. And the thing I like about the song, about playing it the most, is that you can incorporate a variety of styles into it, from kind of a classical European style to more of like an African-American jazzy style, and it fits well together. So I'm going to go head over to the piano right now, and I'm going to play it two ways. The first is going to be kind of classical, and the second time around we're going to do it with a little bit of a bounce. And I sure would appreciate if you guys sang along with me. All right, thank you very much, everybody.
So just a little background information, because I'm a teacher and that's what we do. So, the songwriter was Johnny Nash, and he was born on August the 19th, which is my birthday. He's a few years older than I am, but he was born in Houston, Texas, and he began his singing career at Elgin Progressive New Hope Baptist Church in the church choir. He was one of the first non-Jamaican singers to record reggae in Jamaica. Nash had been introduced to Bob Marley in 1968, and much of his influence is evident in Nash's work. You go back and listen to those too. I know some of you don't remember that, but that's what it was. So in 1972, the Average White Band worked with Nash to record, I Can See Clearly Now, the first ever reggae song to reach #1 on Billboard's Hot 100. And interviews reported that Nash wrote this song while he was in the hospital recovering from cataract surgery. Wow. So maybe his lyrics really mean what they say. He can see clearly now. This song has been covered by so many artists and in so many movies, you can't even mention them all. But most notably, in 2016, it was re-released by Hot House Flowers, where it again reached #1 in 2016 on iTunes Top 40 in the UK, and then in the late 80s, it was the obvious choice for a jingle to promote Windex. It's got a lot of history. I Can See Clearly Now was released in 1972, but 1971 warrants a mention. And I can remember 1971, as some of you can. But in 1971, it was a rotten year. It was filled with earthquakes, and tornadoes, and cyclones, and tsunamis, and landslides. It was in the midst of the Vietnam War, the Manson trials, the Attica riot, IRA bombings, and just tumult throughout the world. The dollar had been devalued, and that year we lost Louis Armstrong, Wayne Allman, Dan Morrison, Coco Chanel, Audie Murphy. So there were a lot of negative things that were going on in 1971. But then there were some positive things too. The topping out of the South Tower of the World Trade Center happened that year. Wow. And although we have suffered since with that, that was a big year for that. Groundbreaking of the Superdome. I like that just because I'm like, oh, so Superdome was it. William Rehnquist was named to the Supreme Court. These events, along with Nash's song, suggest an ebb and flow of good times and bad times. The good times provided instigation for the song, and the bad times a sense of hope. His lyrics address the aftermath of a rainstorm. And at the end of the storm comes not the end of troubles, but rather the clarity to identify them and the possibility to move past them. It's a song of hope and courage for those who have experienced adversity in their lives and have overcome it. So, in this day and time, in 2019 in America, we certainly have some times of adversity. So I think as we listen to this song, we need to keep praying for those rainbows, because a bright and shiny day is somewhere ahead. So let's stand